What's up, y'all? It's Jam and Sam, and today we're going to do, recompose Donkey Kong 64 to match more Donkey Kong Country. And today we're covering Fungi Forest. And I haven't done the restoration yet, so I'm going to use the MIDI here to so I can see what's being played. But we're not really going to stick too close to that. It's just mostly for reference. So, what I wanted to do was start with the bird sounds. And then instead of having chopped up bird sounds like the Nintendo 64, I'm going to use a straight up sound effect. And I have one here, but I don't know where it is. It could be a contender. That sounds nice. How many do I have here?
Number 43.
Ah, yeah, I don't know about that. Whoa. What's happening here? Oh, is FL Studio messing up on me? I think it is. Oh wow, it's still messing up. Let's see. All I was doing was playing samples. We're not even that far into it yet. Oh, looks like I have to restart, I guess. Restart the FL Studio anyway. Windows always has problems. Need to switch to Linux or something. Let me see if I can go with that backup instead. Yeah, it made a backup for me. Okay, so like I was saying, sound effect. This is alright, but it's in mono. I would like to have a stereo recording. I don't even know why I have that in here. I don't want that. Ah, that's pretty nice. I like that. Let's use that. Nope, that's not the one I wanted. There we go. Except that it should be a lot quieter. It should be sinking into the background a little bit. And I think there's a little click in there I want to get rid of. Where is it? Oh, there it was. Yeah, pretty much right here. So if I make a slice right here, and then I hold Alt so that I can bypass the grid, and then just do like that, and then crossfade them together, it should get rid of that. Yeah, perfect. Okay, so I want to start with a nice bright chord. Maybe with a oh, you know what? I would like some soft brass for this. I got this. What's it called? Contact patch for free from Performance Samples. That does sort of look like a soft brass with a really good mod wheel, if I can find that. So not soft string spurs. I think it was Vista chord demo. Yes, soft brass sustains. Untuned. I think let's see. There's a choice between untuned 12 cents. I think I'll stick with the untuned because the untuned still sounds pretty tuned. So that's really quiet, but I think if we put the mod wheel up, And I want to kind of start with the Stickerbush Symphony chords, opening chords, because I like those a lot. It has a nice morning sound to it that I like a lot. So let's start with that. And let's go to a new pattern. Find first empty, call this intro, I guess. So what was the notes I was playing? The notes I were playing were up here. What's that noise? My computer's making a weird noise. I hope that's nothing. Welcome, Catfish Yellow. I just completed my first color-filled master botanical journal. Celebrating at 3. Nice. I'm not sure what that is, but it sounds like it has something to do with journaling plants. And so, congratulations. Some coppice stumps grow back. Oh, it's definitely it refers to growing plants. Nice. I love Donkey Kong and plants. Nice. Welcome, RCG. He's got stir. What's he got stirring the pot? Another track from the SNES OSTs. Did I just hear Stickerbush Symphony? Yes, we're working with Donkey Kong 64 this time. Yes, your computer is making glitchy noises occasionally. Yeah, you can hear the glitchy noises? That's good. That's extra concerning if you can hear the glitchy noises. I just hear a buzzing. I don't really see it on the meter, so I'd say hopefully not. So, what I want is 2 bars of A minor 7. And then going to C major 7. And I don't want to call this intro. I want to call this, let's call this brass. And so, when I need to edit the mod wheel, which would be in the contact, and let's see. I guess it could just be under, because it mapped to the mod wheel, I guess it could just be under remote control mod wheel. Let's see if that works. But how do I edit the mod wheel? Like, because I can see it's my computer is controlling that. But how do I edit that control? That's ridiculous. I guess I'll just have to map it. Because there's nothing inside contact, it's just a bunch of numbers, really. Okay, maybe modulation wheel? Okay, there it goes. So now I just go to edit events, and then I want to do right click and drag it from the bottom to the top for a bar, and then drag it from the top to the bottom for a bar, and then select this and control and paste because I want this to go for 2 bars. And I feel like this might be able to go for like double the time. Let's see. Actually, I feel like I should just slow this thing down. And because this is the normal tempo, but I feel like it should be slower. Dave didn't really use a lot of like, especially for a peaceful tune like this. He probably would have done more like something weird like 97. Nice. Okay, so we'll do that. Oh, this thing is like now out of sync because of the tempo change. Okay, good start. Let's add in maybe some tremolo strings like we used for, which is from, I think the one from, what's it called? Crystal Caves. Let's try that. Why do I have two of these but no Donkey Kong 64 patch? Wait, I do have a Donkey Kong 64 patch, but why do I still have two of these? I'll have to fix that later. That would be in Donkey Kong 64's regular patches, probably. Tremolo violins, nice. Okay, so that will be on channel 2. And then I'm gonna find first empty and call this. I'm gonna call this strings. Let's keep this usable by all the strings. And I want to make this some upper harmonics, like maybe seventh, like a ninth and an 11th. And maybe have that stay the same because it's going to become a 7th and then and a 9th. That shouldn't be so loud. Nice. Okay, so let's stretch that out a bit because I want that note to be fairly regular. What are you doing, man? No. Lovely. It's a good start. Hello there, Minty Agua Green. I think, wow, that's about as good as I'm going to pronounce that. Welcome. Hello there. Took about 4 months. Wow, 4 months to grow plants. Well, that's better than, that's less time than fruit trees, at least. Amazing. So that's how it works. Yes, this is how it works. This is how the things work. Okay, so I'm gonna go insert one here, and above that, floating above that, I want to play the melody, or at least the arpeggio, or whatever, with glockenspiel. And I think for lately, I've been using play for that. I can use that again. I liked that one. I think it's in metals. Okay. Nice. So I'm going to set that to be channel 1. So let's go find first empty and call this bells. If there's a bell section, I want to keep it. If there's like more bells, I want to keep it open. Or call it mallets. Ow. Okay. So let's have that play the arpeggio here. which I think is, we're gonna have to zoom in a lot closer for that. It's gonna have to be slower than that. I think it's gonna have to take the whole bar. Control Q to quantize. Okay. And then I kind of like, in the song, Grant just sticks to those two chords, but I kind of want to modulate away from that. So what we're having here is we're arpeggiating. Oh, it's not even playing. Interesting. Doesn't want to play for me. Or that, okay, I was just out of skateboard. And then we go up to D major. We have C major, D major. And that has to be, gonna have to be a lot louder. I think I would like to make it louder within the mixer. A lot of the, like, because Hollywood Orchestra is really quiet by default. So maybe we turn that one all the way up, and this one we turn about halfway up. And I think we can make this a little bit faster. Like maybe 110. Nah. Let's make it as flat 100. Kind of want to leave the first part just those chords. Okay, and then after that, I kind of want to do something. So we're kind of doing this motion up. I kind of want to do a circle, a bit of a circle of fifths movement, where I just make that motion, and then on G to A major, but keep the same, roughly the same voicing. So that would be. And I want it to generally rise, so G would be do, 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 do. And then going to A major would be E, A, C sharp, E. And then maybe about 4 times I want it to rise. So that means that we would go from A to pretty much D major. To E major. But I kind of want it to rise. Should I go higher than that? Maybe not. Let's just keep it the same. Okay, and then after E major, we're gonna jump all the way up to A major, which will start on E to keep it rising. And then it will go to B major. Okay, so that means we'll take this slicer and slice bits into this part here. Wait, now I lost the order here. So this part will move here, and then we'll just space them out like that. Which means that this brass section will go for a little more. Okay, that sounds pretty good. I don't know. I think the glockenspiel is getting a little high. Let's try putting it down an octave. Does it go that low? Nah. Let's just lower the voicing, which is going to be kind of hard given that... I guess it's just a matter of... Because if we lower all these voicings by one note, basically, what I want to do is select one of every movement. And then I want to cut that temporarily. Control A to select everything. Paste that here. And then I basically want to move that to the next note, but that note is going to have to change. Oh, wait a second. No, wait. It has to be a little different. I need the first of every downward movement. And then if I cut that, Control A. Actually, no, I just need the downward motions. And then I paste that. It doesn't all go down. Let's see. This one needs to change. Nah, I have no idea what I'm doing. It's not working. So what has to happen now is that this has to go. Everything just has to go down one note, so that means that this is going to switch here. Okay, and this one shifts down as well. I'm not mathematically talented enough to do that by automation. I'm just gonna have to do that piece by piece. And this one, well, this one can stay because it's basically rising still. Okay, I like that better. Nice. I think the sample kind of stops after each note, but with a glockenspiel you don't want it to do that. You want it to sustain or release a little bit. So let's try that. Yeah. That sounds more natural. Okay, and I want to extend the strings here out even more. So let's see, and I'll check chat in a second after I'm done with that. No, that's not working. Let me use the mouse, use the trackpad. Okay. Okay, and that's all well and fine. I think it doesn't sound, even though that we're kind of going off scale, like we're kind of going into a different scale, It doesn't sound dissonant at any point. Because normally, like, while we're going from A minor 7 to C major 7, and like we're kind of going out of the scale, you have like F sharps and D sharps and things like that, but it doesn't really sound out of tune because we're kind of just not really hanging on those notes. Okay, so saludos, Senor Miller. Saludos, Senor Gamer XT. Buenvenido. Welcome, Cave Squatch. I jam your content at work to keep my days chill. Appreciate you, mate. I appreciate you for letting me invade your workplace. Thanks for listening to the smooth sounds of my voice while you work. Nice. Welcome, Catfish Yellow. Oh yeah, it's the same person. Finished. Yeah, it was 4 months. I committed myself to learning New Year's 2026. That's a good project. I like plants too, especially the ones I can eat, like your basil and oregano and vegetables. Mind you, I haven't been able to have the fortitude to, or the space to start a garden, but I have raised herbal plants like basil and oregano, and that was rewarding. TK64 environment gave fascination in plants. They do have a lot of plants in the Donkey Kong series. A lot of very interesting plants, animated plants. Like Lucas, Comfy, Good King Henry, Purslane, Sunchoke, and 5-layer atmospheric nitrogen. Wow, that is some interesting information. 31-year garden. Wow, that's cool. I like that. Welcome, Hoda Ruby. Hey, I love your Super Metroid renditions. Nice. Glad to see some love for the Super Metroid ones. I almost forgot about those. Long time ago. Yeah, it was a full project. Nice. I love that. That's a good project. Okay, so at this point in the song, I kind of want to do, and I might slice out the, or not slice out, but like fade out the sound effects at this point. And I do want to, and I hear at this point I want to go into the part where, no, actually, you know, it would be nicer. What if we go to like do the Stickerbush Symphony with that morphing synth? That would be nice. Do that for a bit, like maybe. Just have it keep on rising, because the original Fungi Forest had this sort of, and I studied this to like find this out. When I found that it's like constantly rising, because the thing here is that you have like most of it is like the chord progression is. You can't really hear this, but it like goes from, where's the notes here? It goes from C major. And it's like constantly rising until it rises and then it falls. It like picks up again. So I kind of want to use that idea. And the thing is, like, actually, if I could modify that arpeggio there, because the chord progression, it does. Okay, I think it actually does C major, D major, F major, B flat major, and then G, and then it just goes back down to C, which ends nicely. So I kind of want to do some of that. Let's see if we go from, because right now I made the motions I made are like, if I drag that down, then I can kind of mimic what the original Fungi Forest did, and just kind of continue in that direction with. So if we go from G major to, we go from then from there, since we went from D major to F, let's go from G major to maybe B. And that lands us right back at C, which is fine. Or we can go from B major and go for like, so we go from, and then we go, that would be cool. So we have either or we have I think both sound good. We can do a mix of both. I think if we really want to have if we want to go back to the same thing, we can do that. So that means that what I'm going to want to do here, and I've already done this from G major, I want to go to B flat major. Or I could follow the one from the game and just go to immediately to B flat major, but that would leave me with some more stuff to do, more time to do stuff. Oh wait, I have to do one more after that too. So after G major, I'm gonna go to B flat, I guess. Which means that I just have to make this an A sharp and this an F. And then I go from that to C again. Ah, so it's cycling pretty fast. And then I go to... Oh, then I start on D this time. Go from D to E this time. This voicing doesn't really rise it much. Let's see. Yeah, I'm not loving those last two so much. Maybe I'll raise it up 2 notes. Because that would, which would bring us to... Actually, no, because I would want it to be probably 1 note. And I would want this to be more of a... We would go from B major to C sharp. And then I would want to start on C sharp, not there. But I kind of like going straight to D major after this. And somehow I would rather land on G after that, so it goes nicely back down to C. And then we hit that high G, right? Nice. I like that. Nice. I wonder if I should make this thing kind of change with it, because what we are kind of doing here if we were to make the brass change with this, it would have to conform to the first part, which is C major. Okay, that's all right. And then F major. Or we could make this conform to that because it's going back to, no wait, it's starting on C actually. Okay, but we could make it do like that. And then we would just have to make it change here. Interesting. We could do B major here, and then and then up to D major over here, or B minor here, and go up to D major over there. That might be interesting. Let's try that. Oh, and then there's that annoying thing where FL Studio automatically selects everything, like a huge chunk of time, and makes it not duplicate right. So what I want to do is B minor to D major. That would be fun. Because we're basically bridging from C major to B minor, which makes sense because this is like a coercive movement. This is like basically the key of G right here. Which is, I think the song is in G, so that's even more fun. And then I think these two notes still work. Because we're basically still in the same scale. Nice. Okay, so now I want the mod wheel to continue what it's doing in the brass thing. So let's see if Control B does it. Nope, that's going to select a bunch of stupid stuff if I don't want. Okay, so that'll do. Okay, and then from there, we're hitting D on that point. Wonder if I want to go to G. Do I want to go to G? But then of course we can use F here. Nah, that wouldn't make sense. Unless we do... Just trying to figure out how I could get that satisfaction of the dominant chord. But then Dave doesn't really do that often anyway, so... we can just keep it as is. And see how... So in the next section, I want to... let's see. I want to bring this back. And then I want to bring in a synth. Let's see. But I'll read chat first. Greetings. Greetings, 1x4x9. Welcome. I first discovered your SNES OS starting with Super Metroid Disney top 10. About 4 years while searching for faithful covers. I game randomly while killing time. And I found 7 more games. I'm of the opinion that you work with the gods. The most memorable composition of lots of full fidelity you could use. Fist bump. There you go. Thank you. Thanks for enjoying. Welcome to the stream, mate. All right, so something's still. My computer's still buzzing. I'm gonna have to fix that later. Don't know what that's all about. Okay, so now what I want to do is design a synth that sounds like inspired by the like Stickerbush Symphony, like the morphing synth. But I want to kind of do it myself because I'm a strong, independent composer. So let me try using citrus for that. I kind of like using citrus sometimes. Actually, I think I like using Harmor more because that's additive and sounds more organic. I like citrus for FM stuff, but I might want to FM this. I don't know. Although I think for now I'll stick with. That's really loud, so let's turn that down. Let's pluck it. Let's give it some unison. Now let's map the cutoff filter, which is crude low pass by default. Let's map that to the mod X. Roughly 100%, like roughly just a normal spread. Nice. Okay, so now if we map the mod X to the mod wheel, then it moves when I move the mod wheel. Perfect, so except that the pass has to be in the middle for that. And at 0, if we go all the way to the left, it doesn't make any noise. I'm pressing the key, but I don't hear anything. And if I raise it up further than that, actually there's not really much effect, so I'll just raise it back down, put it back down. Okay, so now I kind of want this to be like an harmonized thing. Let's see. I kind of want this to pluck more even. Okay, well now I think it's time to write out the line, so let's find for empty and call this synths. So let's write out the basic rhythm that we have, that we remember for Stickerbush Symphony. Da, 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 da. And I think there was a space between here. Da, 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 da. Oh, it was like one space. Cool, so that's pretty much the pattern, the rhythm. Now let's make it a chord. And let's just make it like keep on growing. Start with... Let's keep on tacking on another note over here. Actually, first, before we do that, let's just paint this all over the way. Okay, now let's start making it bigger. That's enough of that. That's getting annoying. Now we can have it start grow out. We can have it start growing like this. Okay. So have this one grow, and then until finally it becomes like an 11th chord. Nice. That's fun. Okay, so let's do the mod wheel. Let's have the mod wheel go. Scroll through all these massive amounts of contact automations. Okay, this one's going to be called, I don't know, chord synth. Where's the mod X? Oh, you know what I can do? I don't even have to mess around with that. I can just do edit events right here. Cool. So let's just have this go from 0 to 100 over the course of the 4 bars. That sounds pretty good. I want to do now a volume envelope. And have the sustain be like here. Maybe a little bit of attack. Oh, the attack's not going to work because I didn't even give it any. Nah, I want it to be popcorn style. And then for the filter, maybe we can do that same thing for the filter decay. I give it an envelope. I don't know about that. And this... Nice. Now let's give that some... Let's give that some reverb. And some delay. Let's filter it a little bit, and then... We'll get delay time about 1.5. I don't think I want that much pluck. Maybe we'll just do with filter frequency. Because that's what it maps to anyway. Nice. Nice, I like that. Let's do, for the unison order, let's do random. This kind of, I feel like this kind of makes it sound a little more analog when I do this. I like that. Let's throw that into the mix. Nice. I feel like while that's happening, the the filters or the envelope should get longer. Like I want it to, let's see, sustain loop end and then decay is here. So I want this decay to increase at this point, like, well, a little bit, like not a lot. Let's control I to insert what we have here, and then over time we'll have this just get a little bit bigger, a bit longer. Same with this one. Nice. Let's do that same thing here. Right click. And I want to hear it a little more with the mod X. I want to hear the mod X a little more. Let's have it. And let's have it drop in volume as that goes on too, because I want to hear the... Yeah, I want to hear the... I don't want there to be any conceivable drop in volume. Nice. I feel like there could be a little more in the decay, like a little longer decay. Or actually, maybe the volume decay could be a little more. Nice, I like that. I feel like that could conceivably be done with this in Nintendo 64 too, if you have like, well, with a little bit less movement anyway. Welcome, Airbound Official. Welcome, I'm not gonna try to pronounce that, but welcome, hello. Hello, 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 hello. Welcome, Provolone Continuer. Welcome, The Large Smoke. And I love you, random citizen. So now what I want to have after this is I want to fade out the sound effects, and I want to go straight into that. You know, in the original how there was this like brass just cut in, was like bum 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 bum. It's like French horns. I wanted to one that up and do like have it be 4 bars where it does dun 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 dun. So the whole time this song is like just rising, like it's in a perpetual rise that just keeps on rising and fall and resetting. So and for that I want to use the same brass as we used in the map theme, which was, oh yeah, actually I have that as a library. That is Project Sam Symphobia. Okay, and that was heroic horns that I wanted to select. So, why is it so? Is it using mod wheel? Definitely want that to be all the way up. So we're gonna go to brass again. Because it's technically, I want it to all be sort of conceivably part of the same brass thing. So let's go to 3. So we're gonna call it, we're gonna say that, so it's like, dun, dun, it starts about right here. Da, da. Dun, da. That would be... Okay, so basically that would be the rhythm. And then you would build the chords upon that. And I feel like we can go to the end of the bar with that. Oh, it's got a marcato mix in there. There's a knob on there that says it's like 50% marcato mix. I don't want that to be, I want that to be none. Oh, it's actually, so it's the amount of sustain that we have in there. Whoa, that's loud. But it does sustain, at least. And it's very heavy. There's a lot of like fundamental frequency in there that I'm gonna have to remove via EQ. So but we'll do that later. First, what I want to do is map the chords out. Let me get a closer look at this. Nice. Let's paste that there, and then we're going to use different chords. We're going to transpose that up and continue this sort of scheme we did before. Maybe it might come out a little different, but let's see. And we might do a bit, I kind of want to do a big brass chord here, because it's going in thirds. Let's see. Oh, it's going too high. I need to supplement this with something else. So that makes sense because it's only French horns. So I think I want to add trumpets in there after that. But until then, I think I just kind of want it. I kind of want it to keep it like doing a bass. This is a bass. Like it stays down here and it just builds upon that. Like it adds one note each time. And so kind of what I wanted to do was, let's see. So we'll be hanging on. So this is F to G. And then continuing that pattern, we can go from probably B because I want it to connect. Let's go to B major since we only have to change one note anyway. Dun, dun. It's going to go from B major to E. Oh, that's already out of range. Look at that. That would be B major to C sharp, which means that it's gonna sound like it's going down for now. Okay, interesting. Oh, but actually, if I can build upon it with that. And if it's D, oh yeah, this is gonna be too high. Oh, that's still too high. What? This still is too much. But it's gonna be built upon. Perfect. Okay, so I want to add something onto there. I need something that does trumpets. And it has to be bold trumpets, not the soft ones. So what I want to do is search through my library a little bit. What do I have? I wonder if these are 2D shorts? Maybe not. I need it to be like kind of long. Actually, palette primary colors might be fun to use here. Because I know that has like a total brass patch. We might be able to just use that instead, because it does have sus and stock, and I think like staccato, I think it does both over the course of it. So maybe we can just use that instead. Let's see what happens. So with that taking over, what I first want to do is make sure that, so this is this key switch notes right here. So, and you can see in the bottom of contact which one it's selecting. Woodwind sustain, woodwind staccato. Brass sustain should be first. But I kind of want it to mix staccato and sustain. So we'll start with sustain, and then let me figure out, I'm going to have to figure out which one does sustain and which one does, like which octave does sustain, because I know it's up here. I guess I'll just see when the notes stop. It goes all the way up here, so then like after that next octave, it does that pretty much. It starts with the key switches. So then that means I want to go about here. But I think I wanted to do like this. Let's see how that works. No. Oh, it's not quite. It has to be like... That's right. F is staccato and E is sustain. Okay, so it needs to go one note down. I like that. Okay, so I want this to continue building upon itself. Oh, and I forgot I had to go to 4 bars too, but that's okay. Okay, so this is gonna have to go to G, and then dun da dun da dun. And then, so now it's gonna go to 5 notes. Yeah, and then from B to C, we want to go to E to F, probably. So let's paint in E first. Can't do B, so let's do... And this time we're going to do 6 notes, if it goes that high. And then we want, from E, we want to go to F major, so F sharp major actually. But that's a long note, so... Oh, and this is supposed to be over there actually. Let's see if this builds upon itself. I hope it doesn't slow my computer down doing this, because there's a lot of notes. It should be pretty light though. So we want it to be F sharp, definitely. We definitely want to have these notes in there. Nice, that should be the top note. And then down here, we have C sharp. So that is 6 notes, exactly. Oh, but it's not, I have to do the key switches as well. So I basically just have to select this, copy and paste every bar. Oh, what are you doing? No, don't do that. What? Interesting. Why is it not doing staccato anymore? Weird. Maybe I have to do like that. Maybe they all have to be sort of before their note. Perfect. And I kind of want some release after this. Let's see if I can program some, because the note just stops immediately. Let's see. Ah, here we go. What the? Why would you do that? That is ridiculous. Okay, so I guess I have to do that manually. This isn't working. I think it's grayed out for some reason. Okay, so let's see if I can do that manually. Oh, it's not gonna work. It's programmed into the thing, I think. Let's see, maybe if I do select all groups, it's already editing all groups. Oh well. Nice, I like that. So let's put that there. And that can be a little louder. We can put that to at least 3. Nice, I like that. So, what now? The other thing I want is like a timpani roll, and I think we might have used timpani before somewhere, but I don't remember what we used. Let me see. I'll probably used play for that. So let's continue that. Computer's running a little hot. Okay, so let's do rolls or crescendo. No, do not do that. I hate how it just replaces it. Like, no, don't replace it. Now I think it probably ruined my release there. Yes, it did. I have to go and add that again, and I have to remember every time to just tell it, hey, don't remove all that work I did. Just add a new one. Okay. So let's see. I have a crescendo timpani here. Nice. I like that. Okay, so let's find first empty and call this drums. And in the original it does this thing which I quite like, where it's like, oh well, first we'll get the roll done. So let's see how long that roll takes. So it takes a little over half a bar. Pretty much I can mark that by doing this. So I want this to go... I want this to like peak at the... Nice. So it would be like... Dun, 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 and then it... I think at the next bar I want to have a singular hit, like 2 singular hits that go bum, bum. So let's get the regular timpani. And I'll do the hard short one. And we can do this on channel 1 because I don't think the glockenspiel is going to trigger that. I'm always thinking about saving, like... Oh, it does trigger that. Okay, never mind. Dum dum. Okay, so we're gonna go into 3 and then do. That's really high. That's too low. So let's go to a high velocity G to C. Or maybe it can go down. But actually, it should go to the whatever the next key is. So the next chord is, it goes from C to D to F to G. So this would have to hit on F. And so this would basically be going to, I would want to go from C to F. Or I could go from C, the bottom C, and then that would still do it well. And I could go stronger with this. And then it would have to get higher and higher. Or basically just in the key. So after C, after F to G, it is B to C. So then I have to make it go from the 5th of B, which is F sharp, to B. Okay, and then it goes from pretty much E to F, so I would want to take the lowest, or the 5th of F. No, actually the 5th of B. Okay, the 5th of B is F sharp, and the 5th of E is A. So I would want that to go from the lowest A down to the lowest E. Okay. And then I think it goes one more after that. Or does it not? No, the next one is F. It goes from B to like E to F sharp, I think. Yeah, it does go to F sharp over here, so. And the 5th of F sharp would be C sharp, which means we want it to start down here. Whoop. Nice. I might make that that brass even louder. Whoops, not that loud. Nice, now let's add a crash in there. Ta-da. Let's see, what size crash? Or I think it's a pair. Yeah, we want a pair. Because otherwise, I think sus symbol means it's you're hitting it with mallets, but we want it to crash together. Try this Constantinople crash. I kind of want a smaller one than that. It should feel a little more orchestral. Maybe let's go for 19-inch Zildon. What's the difference between A? I don't know. Actually, I think I want 18. That's still too big. But we don't have the choice of 18. We only have 17. So let's try Istanbul. Oh, that's too small. Maybe we'll just go with... Or actually, we'll stick with that one. Oh, let's go for the 19. Let's try the Sabian this time. Oh, that's good. I like that. Let's go for 4 and channel 4, and then we'll select channel 4 here, and then what is the... There it is. I kind of like the shorter one. Let's alternate between it. Nice. That sounds pretty good. By removing FL Studio removing previous work, or is that an actual bug or some sort of odd feature it uses? I'm not sure what you mean removing previous work. No, that was I think if you're referring to what I did earlier with the play. This is play. This is the VST that does that. It's a problem with that VST, not FL Studio, and it's a feature which just makes it where it's a bad system of adding instruments, where it just doesn't. It should add it by default and then replace it if you choose it to, because most people will probably click wanting to add another one, including me. Anyway, so let's roll with that. I like this so far. Okay, so that's pretty good. Is there reverb on this? Because I kind of want to remove it. If there is. Otherwise, it's just built-in reverb, because I'm hearing reverb. Let's see. No effects loaded. Okay. Oh, I have release settings here. Nice, I like that. Cool, I might add another layer to that, but not now. Anyway. Yeah, that sounds pretty good. Let's add another part. And I want to kind of go into another, oh, you know what? Let's see. I kind of want to do that part of Stickerbush Symphony that was like da dun dee dee da dee do. But I want to kind of lead it into maybe a new scale. And I want to go from the scale that I like, go maybe a resolution from the scale, from whatever chord I am here, which is F sharp. And the F sharp would resolve to, that would be B. So if we go back to B, then that would be, might be pretty satisfying. And so, yeah. What do I want for, so I definitely want the piano for this part in the melody. So let's grab a piano. I always like to use Piano Tech Stage. So let's go for the B chord, B major, which would mean that okay, cool. Let's find first empty, call it piano. And let's shorten this because I don't need all that, just call it piano. So, I don't remember how much space is between the downbeat in here, but don't need this to be full velocity. Dun, da, 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 dun, da, da. And then here it goes. Da, dun, da, dun. But then there's a different ending here. And I think the next part starts here. It goes in thirds. Not there. Ah, yes. And I can add some reverb here. Concert hall. Let's go for something a little longer. Cathedral. I like that. Probably could go an octave up. Nah, that's too high. Yeah, it's taking elements. Definitely taking elements from Stickerbush Symphony. B, E, A, D, G, F. What do you mean? B, E, D, G, F, C. That's like, sounds like a guitar strings. Yeah, the VST is the main factor, definitely. So, what I also wanted to do in this element was not in Stickerbush Symphony, but taking that idea, I want to introduce an ostinato, and I might kind of try to do this with the harp from like the Donkey Kong 64 harp. Let me see, I have that here. There we go. What am I thinking of doing? No, it would be like... Yeah, we can do like an ostinato of sorts like that. Let's see. Since harp is technically a string, let's just do that in this pattern. Actually, we might want to put harp in. I want to put harp in something else. So let's call this a harp. Let's make this a new pattern. But it has to have release on it, so let's do... just have it play with a lot of sustain. Okay. No, I like it lower. Whoops. Not what I wanted. Oh, that's lovely. The space is less. Let's see. Ah, yes, the downbeat's there. So let's go ahead and put a time marker there. Of course, FL Studio is going to select everything for me, even though I didn't ask it to. And then I need to change the snap to a beat. I think it's kind of nice. This reminds me of Donkey Kong Country 3. There's that harp. There's one instrument on Donkey Kong Country 3 that sounds like that. It's sort of like this. Like this first section. Everything up to here is like waking up. It's like and waking up to it feels like waking up to a nice morning, and then you're like up and ready to take on the day, and then you're just like peacefully doing things. That's what this feels like to me. Cool. I want like a deep sub bass there when the chords start, like a synth sub bass. So let's try that. Not just a sub bass, but like a muffled like bass. Let's see. Sort of like, let's see. Maybe I can use Jupiter 8 for that. That would be nice. Where's my Jupiter 8? Do I have that in synths? Yes. I like the Jupiter 8. Let's use the, I want to try to use the strings preset. It's kind of, let's see. Because that's what's used in Donkey Kong Country. I don't know, that one doesn't sound right. It doesn't sound good as a bass. Need a little more. I'm trying to put the filter down so it has less overtones. Yeah, no, it just sounds a little weird. I'm gonna make my own bass. Or I could use the... Yeah, I could use the Poly 6. Maybe the Poly 6 strings will sound better. Or I can use the preset from Donkey Kong Country 2, because I know he used a lot of like basses, synth basses using that, so I kind of want to allude to that. So let's see, PWM bass. That would be fun. Let's see. So I kind of want to find first empty and call this bass. Get that in its own pattern, and then okay, so this, I want this to use the ensemble, phase ensemble, and let's have this spread, like, not so much spread, but a lot of intensity. Okay, I do want it to be sub like that, but I want it to be quieter. So let's turn that let's close this window first of all. Turn that volume down. Nice. I kind of want to try using the sub bass. That sounds nice, but I kind of want to try using the sub bass in the orchestral section to maybe give it some more, so it doesn't sound so silent. Okay, that tracks. I don't think I'll use that synth bass though, at least not on that note. But I'll definitely use something else there. Maybe the sound effects. Oh, it naturally fades out here. Cool, I like that for now. Let me come back in with the brass. Or maybe some other pad. We'll see. Let's see, what to do next. Actually, I want to bring in another pad just for fun. Let's use I want to use Massive this time, and there's a preset I really like here called the, let's see, where is it? I always have trouble navigating. Ah, here we go. You have to push that secret button in order to get anywhere. So I have my favorites presets here. And this one I like a lot. It's called Ethereal. Let me see. So we're in B major here. Sort of sounds like a choir there. And so let's find first empty and call this. Yeah, let's actually put this in synths. That would be nice. So let's do 2 B major chords, not that one. Where's my notes? Okay, here we go. Here's the first one. Okay, so let's slice that off here and move it over there. I think we can repeat that. Cool. Now, on that part, I kind of want to change chords once or twice. Let's see. What chord do I want to go to? I know I hear it in my head, but I'm not sure which one it is. So in the original he goes. No, I actually don't know what happens in the original. I don't want to rely on the original. Could go to the 5, so you go from B. Yeah, I kind of like the 5 there. Which means that in order to keep the fluid motion, we will be changing, basically you just have to change one note, and that one note is, no, actually 2 notes. Yeah, it's just going to be this to these, this to this, and then D sharp to C. This part I think should be a little later as well. No, wait. I mean, maybe we could have bass and sub bass in here too. Let's see. So the sub bass would go. Dun, da, 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 dun. Oh, it actually started out in B. But I do want to go to a different different chord actually on that. Like I want it to be a 4 chords here in this section. Well, let's read chat first. Oh yeah, nothing to see. Okay. So then what's the next chord that I want to use? Let's see. So it's, whoops. Maybe no, not that one. Oh, I don't want to go there. Could try some of that. Let's try going to maybe E. I think it could be better. And then the last part we hang on is like, maybe this should be D sharp. Okay, so D, F sharp, D sharp, F sharp, A sharp, D sharp, F sharp, then an A sharp at the bottom. Nice, I like that. We can come back to that a little more later. Or maybe we can make that, we can give that more overtones, because Dave sure loves overtones. Dave would probably not make this. And I like overtones too, so. Let's see. Well, let's start with just a 7th for now. No, I think total, like, just regular chords are good for now. Oh, I see, it's a little bit off. Interesting. Yeah, I think it's supposed to be like this. Yeah, and then that one is off. I knew something was off here. Okay. This is a fun experiment. I feel like you've been doing this for a while, but this is the first I've been able to catch. I have done a part 1. Welcome, Daisy Cherry. I've done a part 1. Part 1 is on as a YouTube video. This is part 2. Yeah, so you can go and watch that video if you want to see more of that. And so this will be part 1. We covered the first 4 themes, major themes of the game. Now we're covering the second 4 major themes of the game. And if this one does well, I'll continue this probably at some point. So, I feel like this is a good, like, peaceful section to it. Yeah. Oh, you know what I kind of want to do for the drums here? I kind of want to do brush drums. I know it's kind of changed. My only concern is that it's kind of changing a lot. Like, it's just... You know, and I think particularly from these 2 sections it changes. So one thing I would like to do to remedy that, I'm gonna insert one here. I'm gonna put this. Let's see. Actually, no. This can go down here, and then these can shift up with the strings. And then I kind of want this to be a pad that starts here. Nice. But I don't want those chords for this. I kind of want... I want to follow whatever this is doing here. So what I want to do is take this synth choir here. Move it over here and then kind of follow the chords here, which the chords are, or at least the starting chords are, let's see, C. Let's follow C here. And then we can actually, I can go off of right here, and that'll connect really well. Use the extended harmonies. And then, let's see. Dun, dun, and then F. So we'll change some of these notes here. But this note will stay the same. And actually, nice. Dun, dun. And then we start on B here. Oh, it's nice. It has a chromatic rise if I do that. And then we keep the A. And the rest of the harmonies, actually. Nah, it doesn't really fit. It's too many harmonies. So I think I'll just stick with the main chords here. Maybe a seventh. A seventh would be nice, but not too crazy. And we already have only a seventh for the F going here, so that works out nicely. So then you go from F, from B to C sharp to D, I feel like. No, it was from E to, yeah, it starts on E, this one. Gonna have this F sharp in here. That one's gonna be E. Kind of works. It just feels too contrived at that point. Maybe just a little bit of a chord will do. I think the lower parts are what feels most contrived. Nice. That's pretty good. No, I don't know about that. I think it would be better to continue the bass line than to just bring it in and out. Yeah, I'll have to think about that more later, but let's try the bass line thing. Because I need to move on. So this goes from, we can keep the C at this point. And then go to E, I do believe. No, F. Done. And then to B, I think. And then to E. No, F sharp. Let's give the piano more reverb. Nice. That's a lot of fun. So we've been at this pretty much 2 hours. I'm gonna stay on for another hour. Welcome, Carlo Nassar. How you doing? Okay, so oh, then we could drop the bass out at this point and then sort of do like a bass drop. Nice. I would like to also, I'm kind of hanging on this section for a while, but I feel like there's something special here. I might want to do some brush drums. So like, I want to do addictive drums and then drums too, and I have a brush drum kit that I want to use. This UI is way too big. UI and scaling settings, perfect. No, that's not what I wanted. Why are you giving me this menu at all? Is what I want to know. I need to start using the touchscreen. Okay, that's too small. Perfect. Okay, so I want to load a... No. I have a jazz brush kit here. Kind of pretty good. Oh, better. And I can use that beat, actually. That's a nice beat. I like that beat. So let's... how do I get that beat in there? Where is the beat that I just had? I don't even know. Like, it's gone now. How do I get that beat back? No. I guess I can't get that beat back. I guess once it's gone, you're kind of stuck without it. You kind of lost it. I feel like that groove would work really well. These are all fast. That's too slow. Or too uneventful, I should say. I want one with nice use of the brushes. That one. Now, how do I get that onto the thing? Because I don't want all those, like... I don't want all those fills in there. Oh, it says all. Let's see. I think this is a new version of the app because I didn't really have all those. Let's see, can I just drag this here? Let's see, if I make a new pattern, find first empty, call this drums. Can I just drag that pattern there? That's lovely, perfect. Very convenient. Okay, so okay, that's lovely, but I want that to be a lot louder. Let's just go into the volume and I don't know. Let's remove the hi-hats. I kind of just want the brush drums. And I kind of want them to... Yeah, I kind of want some... like, sticks there. Like some recognizable sticks. And then maybe... But low velocity. That's nice. Oh, lovely. And is there those kicks in there? What are they doing? I kind of want those to be more higher velocity. And some of these kind of have weird timing. I mean, I feel like these snares all happen too late. Yeah, this one, I don't want this kick. Okay, what's this? This is... Okay, and then there's some hi-hats here. I don't really want the hi-hats. What the... Why don't you remove that? I don't want toms. Where's toms? Ah, here we go. So if I go, yeah, still on the step. And then I can put some toms out here. Okay, so I want I'll shift all these toms up. I want to do like a short tom sweep. Or maybe put these here. And I want those brushy toms to like go up in velocity as well. Nice. I like that. And then we can drop the whole bass on here. Cool. And so now I'm going to do more for that transition later, but right now I want to go back into a different part. Yay, piano tech. Yes, I love piano tech. I think it should be more like DKC in 3D with DKCR. I think, well, Donkey Kong Country Returns was more like 2.5 dimensions, 2.5D, if that's what you mean. And they were like originally. Donkey Kong 64 was going to be like that, like a 2.5D adventure, but they ended up scrapping it. It wasn't working, and then they went with an approach more like Banjo-Kazooie. Well, welcome, BV Yup. Just got your DK1 vinyl. Nice. Good. Glad you like it. Use it when I'm cleaning my house. Nice. Good music to clean to. That'd be fun to clean your house to Donkey Kong Country. I've never actually played DKC before. The 3D makes me sad. Why does the 3D make you sad? Oh yeah, felt like Banjo-Kazooie. That part made me sad. I was like, didn't feel like Donkey Kong Country. It felt more like Banjo-Kazooie. Yeah, piano tech. Welcome, Analog Zoda. Last time I was on, I think it was one of those. I think it was still Zoda's Revenge. I don't even know what that is. Zoda's Revenge. Oh, you were still Zoda's Revenge. Oh, you changed your name. I didn't notice. But welcome back if you were here before. Anyway, so now I want to go in. I feel like this is a good time to go into the main melody. And I want to kind of do a merger between the main melody of Fungi Forest and Stickerbush Symphony, which I had kind of an idea for. So I want to do that with I'm going to do the soprano sax. Let's see, it's in reeds actually. Soprano sax. Okay, so, and to set that up, I don't think the mod wheel controls vibrato. Oh yeah, that's right, I can just learn it. Let's see. Actually don't want that to control vibrato. Expression can control that. So let's see. Nice. What But I would like it to be a little bit more flamboyant, like the one from Stickerbush Symphony. Let's see, maybe we'll introduce some growl. Nah, that just sounds weird. Let's see. Ah, vibrato. I'll try changing the thing. Yeah, that one sounds a little bit more bold. Okay. We'll shelve that for now. So let's see. Let me let's find first empty, call this sax. And let's call this sax as well. Since the name is way too long, and also name is way too long. Let's just stick with drums. And this one let's call synth pad. Okay. Da-da. Let's control Q, and then for now it'll just be like flat. Let's set the downbeat to be here. Da-dun. Let's try that, see how that sounds. Okay, so it's only supposed to be one, like, smaller, one step or so. Pretty much, I want to zoom in here. I think I definitely have the wrong timing for that. Let's see. Let me make this end a little sooner. Let's see. No, I think I've got the right timing. Da da dee da dee. Nice. Oh, I have some tea here that I forgot about. Lovely. Let's see. Let's see. I do want this to do da da da. No, actually, I wanted it to do da da da. Okay, da da dee da da. Actually, I kind of want to make this more like, because Dave usually does this da-dum 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 in some of his songs, newer songs mostly. So. This is going to take some work to get right, but we'll get it right. Actually, might be cool to do some syncopation here. So, da-dum. And then we have the da-da-dee-da-da-da-da-da-da-dum. Okay. And this has to land on the end here first of all. And I think it's in thirds or something. Interesting. So that's definitely not gonna work quite so well. Because I have it an odd number of bars. Okay, and then I can do, if I give it another pass, then I can do da da da. Yeah, I'll have to figure that out because it's yeah, maybe I can just modify it from the game, from the one from the game. Let me go grab that. So this one, let's see, nice. I'll keep that the way it is for now and then maybe modify it later. But I really like, let's see. Da-da. I would really like to do this thing where it's like it merges with Stickerbush Symphony, where it's like da-dum, da-dum. And then maybe Shift I and then da-da, and then da-da-da-da. So then Shift I and then da-da-da, da-da-da, and then this one can be removed. But then this, I forgot where this one was at first. Where was it at first? Da-da-da. Okay, there it was. Now let's go back and redo everything. Da, 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 da. And then I kind of want to do da 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 da. Okay, I kind of want to fix up. Now, first, I just want to fix up the rhythm, so it's like more like Dave. Yeah, Dave does a lot more syncopation. Nice. Nice. Okay. And then I guess I'll change the rhythm a little bit. Or change the orientation a little bit. Because it has to be even. If I get... It's not even in like multiple... Well, I could still do it, actually. And then I want this to be here. And then, let's see. But it's still gonna be... That's fine, it can be an odd number of bars, I don't care. We'll see how that turns out. But it can't be it can't be like in the middle of the bar ending, so let's see. Oh, I know what to do. So if I select all these and extend this note out, then it aligns perfectly. No, not that much though. I have to extend this one out too. And then these have to move. Nice. Now I'll have this be a long note, and then it can fade out. That would sound good. So now we need to, since it sounds pretty static, so I need to give it, like, have vibrato come in every now and then. So for that, then, yeah. Would you, okay, I'll just read chat for a second. Zoda from Star Tropics, I don't even know that. Semi 3D is more what DKCCR is. That did work. What song are you adapting currently? I am currently adapting Fungi Forest, actually. Would you at some point think about restoring Banjo game soundtrack? Not really. It's not really part of my, it wasn't really part of my childhood, and I didn't really enjoy the soundtrack that much. It wasn't really my style. But if someone wants to commission it, they can. Or they can commission one of the songs. Some people have commissioned songs before. Let's see, this is going for 10 bars, so pretty much. So let's see, let's put this here in place of the sound effects into the playlist. And let's, I want to go to generators, sax, and then first part I want to do is the vibrato. Get that over there. Let's see if it'll show me, yeah, vibrato depth. So I want to start mapping that out where I started at 0. And then it comes in. And then it stops, and then and then it can come in full blast here. And then it comes in maybe a little bit of vibrato here. And then a little bit again. And then I want it to kind of want to have it, give it more as it goes on, like full on vibrato. And then no vibrato here. And then quite a bit of vibrato here. And then they introduce fade in vibrato here. I have some more fade in vibrato here. Okay, and then no vibrato here, but have it kind of sort of fade in after a minute. Nice. Okay, so for the reverb here, I kind of want there to be, let's see. Oh, nice. Okay, now for expression. Actually, I do want to do something to note velocity. Da-da, da-da, and maybe a strong one here. And a strong one here, definitely. Maybe have this go down. Hold on 1 second. Lead it up there. Okay, and as far as where's the expression goes, so what do we have right now? It's a mid-level expression. Ta-da. Maybe have it go down there and then it go up. Ta-da. And then maybe suddenly, well, maybe start down there and then suddenly rise up. Da, 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 da. Okay, all that, I just want it to go up. And I want it to start higher. Yeah, actually, maybe just full on velocity. And I need it to be louder. And let's give that some echoes. Okay, let's give it some offset, some panning offset, and then... Actually, no, ping pong would be better. And 3 steps timing, and then let's set that to be about 37%. Diffusion, for volume diffusion, and then let's see. Remember, have it echo. They have it fade out like that. Nice. And I wanna set this note to be longer. Okay, cool. That's a good solo. 10 bananas. Thank you. Welcome, Nessa. Nice. I caught the end. Yeah, I think it's the last half hour at this point. Yeah. So now I just want to do the harmony for this, and I might want to continue with these synths, to be honest. But I might want to continue with everything actually. Because these are some nice brass too. Why are the why is the glockenspiel almost non-audible now? Like something just made this go really quiet. Oh, it's probably when this thing replaced my glockenspiel with something else when I didn't tell it to. That would probably have done it, because it ruined my setting I had here. There we go. Okay, and then I think I kind of have some ideas for this here, but I think the flow in these sections is not really working out. I kind of want some space between here. I kind of want, I need another bar between that, so like this, and then everything is just gonna slide this way. Which means that this also has to go extend out. Okay, and then at the end of that, we need some space, like another bar of space, to hang on these for dramatic effect, because it's currently just like snapping from one thing to another. Da. And then maybe da 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 da. So we do da 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 da. And then we switch back to staccato. Da. Da, 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 da. No. I don't know what that is, but let's see, that's too rapid, I think. Da, 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 da. Oh, because I think what I'm thinking of is like thirds here. What am I hitting? Something on the keyboard. Da, 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 da. So these, it has to go to this. Da, da, da. Da, da. No, I think it's better. It maybe better to just hang on the note. Yeah, it's not that long to hang on to it. Nice. Nice. And then maybe another roll after that. This is the distance that it should be, I think. No, because we're in thirds of a beat right now. I have to be in steps. And I have to be on F sharp. Oh yeah, and I can do that. I want that to wait till for the next bar. Oh, I have two drum patterns. I don't want that. But that would lead nice. That will lead nicely into that melody, though. And I don't want that here. Nice. Okay. So. Nice. Now that's a perfect transition into that. Okay, now I want the piano to kind of play louder. Oh, that's not the right one. Nice. Oh, much better. Cool, and then I think the drums can continue there. And at that point, I just need this part of the drums again, because it's going to be like a, I'm going to need to remove that roll there. And this part doesn't need to play again. Actually, but because this is an odd amount of bars, some parts of it also need to be extended a little more. So this one will go to the end, I think. Yeah, this one pretty much. I'll just repeat 2 bars of this. Repeat 1 bar from somewhere. Like a multiple. So like maybe this one. What did I do? Don't do that. No. Nice. Oh, this actually needs to be like hit there. We go. Okay. Some parts of that are not quite working with the rhythm that's there, so I need to modify the melody a little bit. But I can actually, I want to work on this part of the intro a little bit. Because we need some more like subtle magical things going on there. And I think I know what it is that we need. Let's do percussion middles, and I want to do, what's it called? Spectre Sound Mark Tree. Add that. So a bell tree is basically what it is. Let's try that. Let's see the mallets, and then before that happens, this is going to become before that, so I want this to shift forward a little bit. Give us about 4 bars of space before that comes in, which means that these are all going to shift forward. Okay, so on channel 5. Okay, here's the stuff. Yeah, that's really quiet, but I want it to kind of go louder. Maybe as loud as it'll go. How about that? Ooh. Maybe start a bar in. No, I think maybe it just has to be a little quieter. The glockenspiel has to be louder still. Nice. I like that. Love that transition. Definitely gonna need to modify that rhythm. But first, I want to kind of use the harp part here. I want to give that an earlier part to layer with the... Let's keep that over a bit. Let's select all clips. Then put that back. Now, the earlier part for the harp, actually I'm going to need a lot more space than that. I want to do like a harp sweep under the glockenspiel. So let's say, first let's fix these up. So here, I want, what's the chord here? The chord is C. So it would be like, but let's not do full velocity, let's do like lower velocity. And let's zoom in, set the snap to like half. I think I kind of want to do, might want to go up an octave. Yeah, that sounds pretty good. And then we go up to D. Wait, I think that might be too slow. Oh no, it's supposed to be like half a bar. No, wait. Actually, it is too slow. Control Q. Sort of sounds like Zelda. Let's see. And so the way this is going to work is exactly like the glockenspiel, where we have pieces change this to a bar. No, do not bypass the grid. What are you doing? Okay. Nice. So then the next chord is going to be F, but I can't just drag it up to F because I need it to be pretty much the same voicing. So what I actually want to do is just put the nearest neighbor here. No. Okay, and then this one, next chord is going to be G. Cool. So now I just continue the thing with it going. It's going to go to, I think I did B flat at this point. Let me check. Yeah, B flat. So I still want it to get higher, meaning start on D. And let me zoom in a little more here. Maybe I can put it with my finger. Nice. Okay, and then it goes up to C again. Let me set my snap to be a step here. And then for the last one, is going to be E. G sharp, B, G sharp, E. Then we're going to go down a bit. Back to B, and then we go up to F sharp. That's going to be C sharp, F sharp, A sharp, C sharp, F sharp, A sharp, C sharp, F sharp. Okay. Nice. Okay, perfect. Yeah, that sounds pretty good. Now the beginning is really nice with that that bell tree coming in. think that roll should be a bit later, a bit earlier, shouldn't it? No, maybe a little bit. There we go. Okay, very good. Well, let's see. We're pretty much at 3 hours now, so I'm gonna call it for today, and then tomorrow I do want to come back again, so we'll see. All right, so that's where we'll cut it for today. We'll pick back up with this sax solo and continue on that. I have some more ideas for the rest of the song a little bit. And then, yeah, we'll go through those ideas tomorrow. How much runtime are we at now? 1.5 minutes, pretty much. So, not bad timing. And then I think actually, after this, I might bridge it into a sort of like something more inspired by Forest Interlude for the night. Because for the night variation on the track, like right now we're doing the day. And since I've sort of established this like waking up daytime mood, after that I think I want to go into the night version and make it more inspired by Forest Interlude. That would be nice. So we'll cover that tomorrow probably. Alright y'all, thanks for coming to the stream, and this will be Jam and Sam signing off until next time. Take care and